Ford Fiesta. The Ford Fiesta is more than just a compact car, it's a symbol of Ford's commitment to combining performance, practicality, and affordability into a small package that can compete on a global scale. Launched originally in 1976, the Fiesta has stood the test of time through several generations, constantly evolving to meet the changing needs and tastes of consumers around the world. With each generation, Ford didn't just upgrade the technology or slightly tweak the design, it redefined what a small car could be. The Fiesta has managed to carve out a unique space in a highly competitive market, particularly in Europe and Latin America, and even made notable appearances in North America. Its story is one of endurance, innovation, and a deep understanding of what drivers want in a subcompact vehicle. When Ford first introduced the Fiesta, it was in response to the oil crisis of the 1970s, when fuel efficiency suddenly became a top priority for many car buyers. The company saw a growing demand for smaller, more economical cars, particularly in Europe. The result was the original Fiesta Mk1, which rolled off the production line in Valencia, Spain. It was lightweight, economical, and surprisingly roomy for its size. Right from the beginning, the Fiesta emphasized value, offering a lot of car for the money. It was designed to be easy to drive, easy to park, and cheap to run. That formula resonated with buyers, and the Fiesta quickly became a popular choice for both new drivers and city dwellers. As the years went by, the Ford Fiesta continued to evolve. The Mk2 brought slight design changes and better safety features, but it was the Mk3 that marked a significant leap forward. It introduced a 5-door version and brought in more modern suspension systems, improving ride comfort and handling. Ford realized that people didn't just want cheap cars, they wanted small cars that were also fun to drive. The Fiesta began to develop a reputation for offering agile handling, making it a favorite among driving enthusiasts who appreciated its lively character. Ford engineers tuned the suspension to deliver sharp, responsive steering, and the chassis dynamics often rivaled those of much more expensive cars. The fourth generation introduced more curves and a more aerodynamic design, following the trends of the late 90s. It also saw improvements in interior quality and refinement, bringing the Fiesta closer to premium small car territory. The car's popularity surged, and Ford continued to invest heavily in the model. Then came the fifth generation, which brought with it Ford's new edge design philosophy. It was bolder, more confident, and appealed to a younger demographic. At this point, the Fiesta was more than just practical, it had style. Features like alloy wheels, air conditioning, and CD players were becoming standard, and it was no longer just a car you bought because it was cheap. It was a car you bought because you wanted to. One of the biggest milestones in the Fiesta's history came with the sixth generation. This version was truly global, with Ford rolling it out not just in Europe and Latin America, but also in the United States, Canada, and parts of Asia. This was part of Ford's One Ford strategy, aiming to streamline its product lineup and sell the same models worldwide. The sixth generation Fiesta, launched in 2008, was an instant success. It looked fantastic, had a modern, well-designed interior, and continued the tradition of being fun to drive. The driving dynamics were some of the best in its class. It was nimble, quick to respond to inputs, and felt well planted at high speeds. Even the base models offered a rewarding experience behind the wheel. What truly set the sixth generation apart was its performance-oriented variant, the Fiesta Street. This hot hatch quickly gained a cult following. Equipped with a turbocharged engine, a sporty suspension setup, and aggressive styling, the ST delivered performance that rivaled much larger, more expensive cars. It was pure driving joy. Automotive journalists and reviewers around the world praise the Fiesta ST as one of the most fun-to-drive cars on the market, regardless of price. It was fast, it handled brilliantly, and it had the kind of character that made you want to take the long way home. It was proof that Ford could still make small cars that delivered big thrills. But it wasn't just about performance. Ford also packed the Fiesta with the kind of technology that buyers were starting to expect. Features like Ford's Sync infotainment system, voice control, Bluetooth connectivity, and advanced driver aids became part of the package. The Fiesta was no longer just a budget buy, it was a fully featured, modern car that happened to be compact and efficient. The materials inside felt upmarket, and the design of the dashboard and center console was both stylish and functional. Whether you were a student buying your first car or a professional looking for an economical city commuter, the Fiesta had something to offer. Fuel efficiency remained a strong suit. With a range of efficient petrol and diesel engines, as well as the introduction of Ford's EcoBoost technology, the Fiesta delivered impressive mileage without compromising on performance. The 1.0-liter EcoBoost engine, in particular, was a marvel of engineering. Despite its small size, it produced surprising power and delivered excellent fuel economy. It won numerous awards and helped establish Ford as a leader in small engine design. The 7th generation, launched in 2017, took everything that made the 6th generation great and refined it even further. The styling became more mature and elegant. The interior received a substantial upgrade in terms of materials and layout. A larger touchscreen infotainment system, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a host of driver assistance technologies brought the Fiesta into the modern age. Safety features like lane keeping assist, adaptive cruise control, and autonomous emergency braking were either standard or available options. It was a small car, but it didn't feel like one. The cabin was quiet, the seats were comfortable, and the ride quality was excellent. Ford also introduced more variants to cater to different tastes. From the rugged-looking Fiesta Active with SUV-inspired styling, to the luxurious Fiesta Vignale with upscale trims and finishes, the range was incredibly versatile. There was a Fiesta for nearly every kind of driver. The ST continued to be the crown jewel of the lineup, with more power and even sharper handling than before. It proved once again that the Fiesta wasn't just about getting from A to B, it was about enjoying the drive. In markets like the UK, the Fiesta consistently topped the sales charts. It became the best-selling car of all time in Britain, a testament to its enduring appeal. Drivers loved it for its blend of affordability, reliability, and driving fun. It was often the go-to recommendation for new drivers, but also found fans among older, more experienced motorists. Fleet buyers appreciated its low running costs, while enthusiasts loved the ST's performance. It had broad appeal, and that was its greatest strength. In the United States, the Fiesta enjoyed a decent run, particularly among younger buyers looking for an affordable yet stylish and sporty car. However, shifting consumer preferences towards crossovers and SUVs eventually led to its discontinuation in the North American market. Despite this, it left behind a loyal fan base and a strong legacy. Used Fiestas, especially the ST models, continue to be sought after in the second-hand market, holding their value thanks to their reputation for reliability and driving enjoyment. One of the most impressive aspects of the Ford Fiesta's journey is how it managed to balance tradition with innovation. It never strayed too far from its core values, affordability, efficiency, and fun, but it also wasn't afraid to push the envelope. Ford continually invested in the Fiesta, making sure it stayed relevant in an ever-changing automotive landscape. Whether it was through cutting-edge engine technology, stylish redesigns, or the addition of smart features, the Fiesta always felt current. Even in the realm of motorsport, the Fiesta made a name for itself. It became a popular choice for rallying, with various teams using it in competitions across Europe and beyond. Its small size and nimble handling made it perfect for tight, twisty stages. The Fiesta R5 and WRC models were hugely successful, further boosting the car's performance credentials. Watching a Fiesta tear through a gravel stage at high speed was proof that this little car had a big heart. In recent years, as the automotive world shifts towards electrification, Ford has begun phasing out some of its smaller ICE-powered models in favor of electric and hybrid alternatives. The Fiesta's future remains uncertain, but its legacy is secure. It showed the world that small cars could be big on personality, big on features, and big on fun. It played a vital role in Ford's global strategy, won countless awards, and most importantly, brought joy to millions of drivers around the world. Whether you remember your first Fiesta as a teenager, fell in love with the hot hatch ST version, or relied on it for your daily commute, it's a car that has touched countless lives. Its ability to adapt, improve, and inspire over multiple decades is what makes it truly special. The Ford Fiesta is more than just a car, it's a cultural icon, a piece of automotive history, and a symbol of what can be achieved when a company truly understands what drivers want and need. As we look ahead to a future dominated by electric vehicles and autonomous technology, it's worth taking a moment to appreciate what the Fiesta represents. It's a reminder that simplicity, when done right, can be incredibly powerful. That a small car can leave a big impact. That driving can still be about engagement and emotion, even in the most affordable corners of the market. And perhaps most importantly, the Fiesta is proof that you don't need a massive engine, a luxury badge, or a six-figure price tag to have a car that makes you smile every time you get behind the wheel. The Ford Fiesta's journey from a humble fuel saver to a globally recognized performance and lifestyle icon is a remarkable one. Few cars have been able to remain so relevant for so long. It stood not only as a testament to smart engineering and market awareness but also to Ford's ability to tap into the emotional side of driving. It was accessible, yet aspirational. Practical, yet passionate. A car that worked just as well for a young driver heading off to college as it did for a retiree looking for a trustworthy daily driver. It broke barriers, challenged stereotypes, and redefined expectations at every turn. In the end, the Ford Fiesta is not just one of the best small cars ever made, it's one of the most important cars Ford has ever built. It helped shape the landscape of the automotive industry, inspired other manufacturers to raise their game, and most importantly, brought countless smiles to faces of those lucky enough to drive one. From city streets to winding back roads, from rally tracks to suburban commutes, the Fiesta has left its tire marks on history. And for that, it will never be forgotten. Thanks for watching.